Hello everyone, welcome to the Civil Services Monastery, and today we are starting with our new series wherein we shall be covering the important newspaper editorials from the Hindu and Indian Express. Alright, I shall be making this type of notes uh, and explaining through these notes, and I will also share these notes in our telegram channel, the link of which you will find in the description box. All right, so let us start. So the first article today is the water filter uh, using light. So the IIT Kharagpur, they have developed a, a water filter mechanism that filter water using light. Now, so let us understand it, how it works. So existing method है water filtration की, it includes ozone filtration and phenton chemistry, but उनके साथ problem ये है कि they have carbon footprint. They burn chemical and electricity, and therefore they have huge carbon footprint. And the pollutant that industrial processes released, such as Congo red and methyl blue, they are they have huge impact on human body, such as they can cause stomach illness, skin illness, and breathing illness. And uh, and therefore what this method is, and how this method filter water using light and without any carbon footprint. So basically what they've done, they've taken sheets of polyactic acid, which they've 3D printed this sheets of polyactic acid, which is nothing but a biodegradable plastic. Now, since this polyactic acid sheet, this plastic is water repellent, they have, to remove that water repellent capacity, they have dipped it into the mild sodium hydroxide solution. Now that removed its water repellent capability. Now thereafter it was dipped into the bismuth fertile ink. All right, so that it can soak that ink. Now once it done, what happened was, the result was that this bismuth ferrite ink, BFO, it acted like a solar power catalyst when visible light was thrown over it, and it split water molecules and created a highly reactive radicals, which ultimately helped in shredding the organic dye molecule that is existing in the water. But this happened in the visible light. In dark, what they've done, they've used ultrasound, because BFO is a piezoelectric, does have a piezoelectric nature, and that when the ultrasound was put on it, it generated internal electric field, which again that created that highly reactive radicals and helped in that removing the shred of that removed the shred of organic dyes molecule. So therefore, in visible light as well as in dark, both the process worked, and the result is ultimately they able to remove 99% of the Congo red and 74% of methyl blue in 90 minutes. This also partially cleaned some real wastewater collected from textile plant. So this is the first article. Second, tetra optoacoustic. What is this tetrahertz optoacoustic? So ये एक non-invasive way है to check blood sugar level in real time. Now how it is? Now ordinarily the method of checking blood sugar is invasive method, wherein the blood sample is taken and then it is checked in the lab that how much blood sugar level existing in these sample. But in this method, what they've done is they've used the high frequency light on blood and listened for sound wave produced by the sodium ions. All right, which which helped them in identifying the blood sugar level without without doing any invasive method. Now let us come to the third articles, that is rare diseases. What is a rare disease? A rare disease is a kind of a disease that that affects very small percent of the population. All right, and therefore due to its rarity, it gets little or no funding for research, and also there are no financial incentive or any policies by the government. All right, if we talk about the data, around 10,000 such diseases have been identified, and 80% of them are genetic in origin. all right, and it mostly affecting the children. 30% ऑफ द चिल्ड्रन जो है ना वो 5 साल से ज़्यादा जी नहीं पाते because of those rare diseases. Cumulatively, there are 300 million people in India being affected by them. The major problem जो है ना इसकी accountability और solution को लाने में it's awareness, because people are mostly, even doctors are not aware, because they've rarely encounter such diseases, and therefore that prevent the accurate pictures of the data, unavailability of data, which is very essential for drafting of the suitable policies. All right, in that regards, one solution, a database is formed by Tata Institute of Sciences, that they've made a genetics, that is a gene database on rare genetic disorders. It allows to choose patients from list of symptoms that are listed there, and it helps in predicting those possible rare diseases, and also it keeps the account of data, which is very important, so that the policy can be made using those data. What are the challenges? uh, Challenges are this: only there are only 5% of those diseases, only 5% of rare diseases that have been identified does have a treatment approved by US Food and Drug Administration. 95% of the diseases does not have any therapy. Even if those therapy exist, these therapies are very expensive. All right. Regarding financial incentive, these diseases are unlikely to be covered by insurance coverage, because insurance coverage does not cover such rare diseases, and therefore people resort to crowdfunding and other sources of funding to fund their resolution of diseases. Out of those 3 million people affected by rare diseases, a whopping 90 million people live in India. Real number possibly likely to higher because of underreporting. What are the major causes that are driving this rare diseases? Are basically social practices of endogamy, which is marrying within the community. It Because those genes tend to revolve around in the same stock of people and does not get removed. All right. What is the solution? There must be pre-marital counseling, and doctors, NGOs, and social worker must work with the community and should urge individual who are carrying a particular type of mutation that they do not marry the individual who is carrying the same mutation, so that can be avoided. Now the last article is matter antimatter symmetry. Now what is this matter or antimatter symmetry? So what is an antimatter? Antimatter is the same, does have a same mass as of matter, but this only difference is that they have a different electric charge, that is opposite electric charge. Now when the universe was formed 13 billion year ago, both matter and antimatters are produced. They are always produced as pair, and if they come into contact with each other, they annihilate each other. So in both, when the big bang was happened 13 billion year ago, both antimatter and matter are produced as a pair. Now the characteristics of them is that whenever whenever they come into contact, they annihilate each other and they leaves behind pure energy. That means that if they are created and destroyed together, the universe must have nothing but leftover energy. But instead what we find is that universe is filled with matters, such as stars, planet, people. We can see that universe has more matter than antimatter. Now what is this mystery? Because this is what is we call this matter and antimatter mysteries. Ideally, matter and antimatter should be equal. All right, but there is a symmetry, there is a more matter than antimatter. That is the biggest mystery in the scientific community, that 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 needed to be resolved to help and understand the formation of universe. All right. So this asymmetry is explained by this a concept called CP violation. So what is a CP violation? CP CP and C stand for charge conjugation, which is nothing but a swapping of particle with particles for its antiparticle. And parity is just flipping left and right, like looking in a mirror. All right. So CP violation is a process wherein is a phenomena that is that is happening in the universe, wherein CP. So 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 experimenter found that the universe treat matter and antimatter differently. All right. Even after swapping and flipping, the laws of physics would have been same, but the experiment shows that the symmetry can be broken, and therefore there are more matters. So so for re- um, so recent discovery using a large hadron colliders in Europe have found that the CP violation is observed in Byron, which is the majority which Byron is a majority visible matter in the universe. So whenever there is a CP violation occur, that means the universe are destroying antimatter and preserving matter. This is a CP violation because ideally the the charge conjunction, the swapping and flipping must happen at equal level in both matter and antimatter. But instead, what is happening is the universe is treating matter and antimatter differently, and antimatter is getting destroyed and matter getting preserved. And this is what is observed in the recent discovery, and this is what is called a CP violation. This is observed in Byron, which is a majority of visible matter in the universe. So there is a difference in decay rates. So antimatter decays more than matters. This is a CP violation, and this helps in understanding the formation of universe. All right, that's it for today.